Hello, beautiful Taurus family, and welcome to February 2021. We are here in a very unique month because it is so chock full of Aquarian energy. I mean, seeing as much energy as there is in Aquarius in February is kind of mind-blowing. We have 5 planets moving through that sign, including Venus, a Mercury retrograde until the 20th of the month, and obviously Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn until we hit Pisces season later in the month. And we also have a new moon in Aquarius. So the first 3 weeks of this month are going to be really, really extra focused on Aquarian energy. And for fixed signs like you guys, for myself as a Leo, and Scorpios and Aquarians, all the fixed signs are going to be getting really acquainted with how we've changed shape, what this next energetic cycle is going to mean for us, and really getting down to the bones of it. And Taurus, for you especially, Aquarian energy lights up a really interesting part of your journey because this is all about your big destiny. And a lot of the energy in Aquarius in this coming year is going to be squaring off against Uranus. It's going to be having a conversation with this planet that's moving through your sign right now. And even this month, that's going to be happening. And so this is really, the message that came up for me is call and response. So for Taurus, the message was call and response. This is a month to really ask yourself, really like get in there and ask yourself what's truly nourishing you. Not what's supposed to be nourishing you, not what you can put down on a piece of paper and list out the reasons why it's supposed to be doing that for you, why it's supposed to work, why you should be just okay with it, but that maybe you really truly, is it really truly what you want? That's going to be a big question in February. Now here's why I said call and response. Because as you call out, right, as you do those questions, as you sit with that, if you're willing to go there and sit with that energy, you will get responses. You will get communication. It isn't just this echo, calling out to an empty audience and having nothing in return. This is a communicative month. It is a definitely deeply reflective month. It's a month of Mercury retrograde in an air sign, which means that we are going to feel maybe a little less able to just vocalize everything we want to say all the time and move all the time. But this is a very important Mercury retrograde because it's helping us get anchored in Aquarian energy, which takes a little getting used to because we haven't been working as a collective with Aquarian energy for a very long time. And we have just come out of Capricorn collective work energy, which has a totally different feel. We had gotten used to the challenges and the hardnesses of a Capricorn energy. And to move into Aquarian energy, it's like going from underground mines into the summit of a mountain. You've changed elevation really fast. Not that one is better than the other. Underground work is very important. It's just very different quality, right? And so it challenges you specifically, Taurus, to ask those deep questions as we move through all of Aquarius season. Now, as we get later in the month, the sun's going to move into into Pisces. It's a little more in flow with you, a little bit more nurturing of you and your sensitive side. Venus moves into Pisces, and we have a full moon at the end of the month on the 27th in Virgo, your fellow earth sign, and your heart energy. And I think also there's almost like the beginning of the month is the call and the end of the month is the response. So that's kind of the way that the message came through. So I'm really curious to see 2 cards are sticking out sideways like this. So let's grab those. It's the Magician and the 7 of Pentacles. And I love that because that is exactly what I'm talking about right there. It's like, this is a very creative month. And I'm actually really excited for February's energy. It's a bit mysterious. We're getting used to it. However, it is very creative. It is very forward motion. It's very curious about the future. It's very warm. It's easy to work with, and you have a lot of creative energy here. The energy moving through Aquarius as well is in your 10th house of your legacy, of what you want to build, what you want to create over the long haul, which can be really inspiring, actually. I love energy that moves through the 10th house because it can really help us get fired up and excited about what's next. 4 of Cups. Yes, there is some integration this month, and that is an important thing to keep in mind. And that's what I'm saying. It's an interesting mix of both big, bold expansion and integration. 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So this is really interesting because what I see here is we have the magician who wanted to come right out and say, hey, I'm here with you, Taurus family. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's make it happen, right? Let's create. And this is a very, very potent creative energy. And I do think all this energy in Aquarius can actually help you do that. And it is going to light up your Uranus energy in Taurus. It is going to light up the big questions. It is going to shake things a little bit again. It's like a month to kind of, you've been working with Uranus for a while, but you're going to like have another little refresher with this, right? But anytime we have big growth like this, anytime we're working with something as bold and as adventurous as the magician, we also have to give the part of ourselves that is maybe nervous, uncertain, a little nervous about the answers we're going to get, a little nervous about this unseen landscape that we're opening ourselves up to. We need to integrate. So just as important as it is to open, it's kind of that oscillation between opening and then coming back home, and you're getting a really strong message here to integrate. Really, like, I can't even ignore it, honestly. Integrate, ask those deep questions, because that just keeps coming up time and again. You're going to want to ask those deep questions about what's working for you. And, you know, this is generally a message that's been coming up a lot. What is working for us? What do we really want to sustain over the long haul? What do we really want our lives to look like? Not just, you know, what we can put up with, not just what is okay for the immediate future, but what do we really want to sow our seeds in? And this is a sneaky one, actually, because so often things that we think we're okay with, it's just because it's so normal to us, right? So it's really normal to us to maybe like feel like we need to eat a big breakfast, for example, because we've been told for decades, like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and you have to eat like a whole bunch of components first thing in the day. That's not like comfortable for everybody, right? But like, maybe this is just a total example, right? Like, maybe you just eat that big breakfast even though it makes you tired and sluggish, and it's hard for you to recover to get to lunch, for example. But you say, oh, but that's just how it is. It's like, does it have to be that way? No. And these cards here are going to say, yeah, you're going to have to like stop and look around. And maybe you're wanting big, fast growth. Maybe you're wanting to just get on it and move on it. But this is a great month for integration. This is a great month to get your bearings. Like I said, switching from the underground work we were doing to the heights of a mountain, you're going to want to acclimatize, right? You're going to want to get used to the altitude, and so you don't get altitude sickness. And you're going to want to get used to the way the air feels, the way that you feel within this dynamic. What's rising up in you? What wishes, desires, dreams that you didn't even include in your master plan for this time, even before February, even in January, you may not have been aware of some of the things that were going to come up and rise out of you and become part of your dialogue for your life. And so this is a time to listen, you know, put your ear to the ground or to the wind and listen carefully to your soul's voice, because it's a little different, I think, than maybe you initially had it mapped out for yourself in December and January, when we were still working with a different type of energy. And we still hadn't fully entered into this Aquarian realm of intensity. So we have a huge message here around integration and the magic that comes from integration as well. And, you know, this kind of goes back to the South Node being in Sagittarius right now. It means that we're having to find our empowerment in integration, in the details, not just in expansion, but finding that we actually expand by going introspective, right? I'm going to pull a final card for our conversation today from the Animal Totem Tarot. I love this deck. It comes out a few times a year, and I just want to see what other message wants to come through in relation to all of this talk of magic in integration. So don't let it get you down if you are feeling a little bit like things are moving slow. I find Mercury retrograde, one of its cool aspects, well, I think it's cool, is that time kind of stops being this nice linear tidy package where you can just go from point A to point B and say, okay, done. It can give the illusion like you aren't moving or like not much is moving, but when in reality, really deep, powerful things are moving. So if you have days where you feel like this kind of integration waiting, being a little nervous to open yourself up, remember too that it's important to have that integration time so that you don't resist your own growth. And that's where Four of Pentacles comes in. I think it's an important pause in the journey to integrate how you feel afraid to grow past what you've categorized yourself as before, right? And so you need a moment to pause, because if you just ignore that worried, nervous voice, it's going to continue yelling at you even while you're doing a whole bunch of fun stuff. So you want to give it a moment of grace. Okay, what do we have? The Nine of Pentacles. Love it for Taurus. And it's the tortoise. Let me pull up the message for the tortoise, the Nine of Pentacles. I love that. Just have to find the pentacles somewhere in here. Okay, we're getting close in my book with the messages. Okay, here we go. Nine of Pentacles, the tortoise for my Taurus friends. I love that. You already have all that you need right where you are. So take it easy, slow down, and just this once allow yourself to stop and smell the roses. It is okay to relax for a moment, because where you are is safe and protected. Here in this garden, no one needs or wants anything from you. Relax, take a deep breath, and count your blessings. Oh, such a great message. And who doesn't love a tortoise? I mean, they are just so magical. And it just fits with this integration theme, right? That you are making huge ripples in your life, but it may be through the lens of some of this softness, this integration. And, even the whole assessing, and asking those deep questions and getting really, really honest with yourself is a form of deep integration, self-love, softness, self-care, gentleness, slow down, and really helps to make life sustainable, right? I think that the rest of 2021 there's a lot that we're going to be doing in 2021. And it's exciting. It's still going to be challenging. I think, it's very easy to demonize 2020 and say, oh, we're going to make it better, or to demonize 2021 and say it's just 2020 dressed as 2020, or 2021 dressed as 2020, right? It's like we have all these like identities we put on these calendar years. And they have each served their purposes. And 2021 has a very different flavor to it, but it does also ask a lot of us. And so I love seeing a message like this, because for me, what this is telling me is you're getting prepared. You're getting prepared to go on some bigger, expansive journeys, and you are integrating. You're taking the time to listen. You're taking the time to assess what seeds you have sown, where you want to grow, and to kind of feel the rumbling of what is next. And to not be impatient. I always say this is a skill set I've learned over the years. When we know there's something we want in life, and we know it's going to take several months maybe for it to all get in alignment and moving forward. And, it's going to include things like taking care of some big admin or making some big phone calls or dealing with some logistics. And I always say when I realize like the day that I'm in is not the day where I can actively do many of those things, because it's not that point in the process, I'm always kind of grateful that, I don't have to carry those tasks on my shoulder today. I can relax. I get to just let that be for another day. And I'm grateful that today, where I'm feeling maybe a little sensitive, overwhelmed by the bigness of the process, that I don't have to take it all in one day. And I think that is a helpful place to come from for Taurus in February, because as you get challenged and as you have this call and response dialogue with yourself, you'll find that you are getting everything in alignment to move forward in the coming months. And 2021 is going to be big. It's going to be big and bold for Tauruses, I tell you what. So use February to your advantage. Don't fight against this softness. Take it in. I mean, you're Taurus, you're fixed sign. You know how to sustain. So I'm not too worried about you. I love this message. I'm a little envious. I'm like, man, I wish Leo had this message this month. I'm sending you all so much love. You can find me on Patreon, where we're going to be really going deep on the Mercury retrograde this month in Aquarius, as well as how to work with this Aquarian energy when it's just amplified. I mean, it is dominating everything this month. We're also just going to be activating those moons and just having some great community conversations. So I'd love to see you over on my Patreon. You can also find me on Instagram and on my website, and you can find PinkLune, my favorite Taurus, her jewelry on her Etsy shop. So I'll leave her link below in the description box as well. I'm so excited to see what February brings. Take really good care of yourselves, and I will see you in March for more Piscean magic.